There are moments in life when you just have to stop everything, the deadlines, the distractions, the noise of the world, and look someone in the eye to tell them the truth that's been living in your heart for far too long. That's what this moment is for me. I'm not here tonight to impress anyone or to deliver a perfect speech with clever words and polished phrases. I'm here because there's something I need to say, something real, something that matters more than all the projects, ambitions, and dreams I've ever chased. It's interesting. We spend so much of our lives building things, chasing ideas, trying to shape the future. But sometimes the most important thing we can build isn't made of metal or code or vision boards. It's made of emotion, connection, and truth. And this truth right now is about you. The woman I love. I've been thinking about what drives people to do great things. People often talk about innovation, curiosity, or the desire to change the world. But when I strip it all down, when I really look at what keeps me going through all the chaos, I realize it's not ambition, it's love. Love is the energy that makes everything else possible. It's the reason we dare, the reason we dream, and the reason we keep showing up even when things fall apart. And that's why I'm speaking today, because I've learned that no amount of success means anything if you don't have someone to share it with. You can build rockets, you can create companies, you can reach for the stars, but if your heart is empty, you're still grounded. There's no real escape velocity without love. For a long time, I told myself that the best way to love someone was through action, by building a better future, by solving big problems, by making things happen. And while there's truth in that, there's also something I missed along the way. Sometimes love isn't about solving, it's about feeling. It's about being present, being vulnerable, being honest enough to say, "You matter to me more than anything I've ever built." Standing here, I'm not a man with all the answers. I'm someone who's been humbled by emotion, someone who's learned that you can be fearless in business, in invention, in exploration, but still terrified when it comes to saying what's in your heart. Because this is the real frontier. I've rehearsed this moment in my mind 1,000 times, and every time I tried to make it perfect, to find the right metaphor, the right balance of courage and calm. But love doesn't want perfection. Love wants truth. So here it is. The reason I'm speaking today is because there's something inside me that can't stay silent anymore. There's a truth that keeps waking me up at night, that keeps following me through every meeting, every milestone, every achievement. A voice that keeps saying, "Tell her, I'm here to tell you." Not because it's easy, not because I know how it will end, but because it's the only thing that feels real right now. I've learned that real courage isn't in launching a new idea into the world. It's in opening your heart to someone who could change everything. It's in saying the words that might alter the trajectory of your life. And if you're wondering why now, why today, it's because timing doesn't wait for anyone. The universe doesn't pause for our hesitation. Every second we hold back, what we truly feel is a second we never get back. Life is short, love is rare, and moments like this are the only things that give meaning to everything else we do. So I'm standing here to speak from the most human place in me, the place beyond logic, beyond reason, beyond fear. I'm speaking because if I don't, I'll spend the rest of my life knowing I had the chance to say something that mattered, and I stayed silent. This isn't a confession. It's not even a declaration. It's simply the truth. My truth, delivered with every ounce of courage I can find. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing more powerful, more electric, or more honest than telling the woman you love exactly how deeply she has changed your world. And that's why I'm here, because some truths deserve to be spoken aloud before the universe carries them away forever. When I think about everything that's happened in my life, the moments of success, the failures, the near misses, and the breakthroughs, I keep coming back to one simple truth. None of it would mean the same without you. You've been this quiet, steady force behind everything. Not always in the spotlight, not always visible to the world, but always there, shaping the way I think, grounding me when my mind drifts too far into the stars. It's hard to describe gratitude in words that do it justice, because it's more than just appreciation. It's a kind of awe. The kind you feel when you realize someone has chosen to stand beside you, not because they have to, but because they believe in you. And that belief, coming from you, has meant more than anything I could ever build or achieve. I've met a lot of people who talk about loyalty, trust, and connection, but few who live it as you do. You have this quiet strength that doesn't demand attention, yet somehow it commands it. You don't just walk into a room. You change the energy in it. You have a way of making chaos feel like calm, of making doubt turn into focus. And in the moments when everything seemed uncertain, your presence reminded me that I wasn't doing all this alone. There's something deeply powerful about being truly seen. Not for what you've done, not for your titles, but for who you are when the noise fades. You see me that way. You always have. You see the parts of me that I sometimes wish no one did. The insecurities, the obsessions, the constant push for more. And somehow, you don't run from it. You meet it with understanding. That kind of acceptance, it's rare. It's humbling. And it's something I'll never take for granted. I've spent so much of my life chasing the future, always thinking about what's next. The next launch, the next idea, the next boundary to push. But you remind me to stop and feel the moment I'm in. You remind me that even visionaries need to look up from their plans and just breathe. That the beauty of life isn't only in what we're building. It's also in who we're building it with. Sometimes I think about how different things might have been if you hadn't walked into my life when you did. I probably would have kept sprinting forward, chasing progress without pause. But you gave me something that no success could perspective. You taught me that strength isn't just in perseverance, it's in patience. That love isn't found in grand gestures, it's found in consistency. And that the most extraordinary thing you can give another person is your time, your energy, your belief. And that's exactly what you've given me. You've given me balance. You've given me a sense of home in the middle of a life that rarely slows down. You've reminded me that even in the pursuit of changing the world, it's okay to be human. To feel deeply, to care openly, to love without calculation. Every time I look at you, I see the reflection of everything I'm trying to build, not in material form, but in spirit. The future I dream about isn't just about technology or innovation, it's about connection, empathy, and understanding. And in you, I see all of that. You represent the reason for it all, the why behind the how. You've taught me that love isn't a distraction from greatness, it's the foundation of it. That gratitude isn't just a polite emotion, it's a force that expands what's possible. And because of you, I've learned that no amount of achievement can replace the simple, grounding peace that comes from knowing someone truly believes in you. So tonight, I want to say thank you. Not a casual passing thank you, but the kind that carries the weight of everything unsaid. Thank you for showing me what patience looks like. Thank you for understanding the parts of me, still learning how to be present. Thank you for being both my anchor and my inspiration. You've changed the way I define success. It's no longer just about how far I can go. It's about who's standing with me when I get there. And I can say, without hesitation, that having you in my life is the greatest accomplishment of them all. Because at the end of every journey, beyond all the dreams and daring leaps, gratitude isn't about what we've built. It's about who made it all worth building for. And for me, that's you. When I look back on how our paths crossed and how everything unfolded from there, I realize that what we've shared hasn't just been a connection. It's been a journey that's taught me as much about life and purpose as it has about love itself. I've had the privilege of exploring distant worlds in my work, but somehow the most profound exploration has been right here. Understanding what it means to truly know someone, to build something real with them, and to grow together through all the chaos and beauty that comes with it. I still remember the first time I noticed you. There wasn't a dramatic moment or a cinematic spark. It was quiet, subtle, but it hit differently. There was something about your presence that felt familiar, like meeting someone I hadn't realized I'd been missing all along. From that point on, everything started to shift in ways I couldn't fully explain. You became part of the rhythm of my days, not just as a person I cared for, but as someone who reshaped the way I saw the world. Our connection has never been about perfection. It's been about realness, about showing up even when things were uncertain, about learning how to listen when words weren't enough, about finding peace in the spaces between chaos. We've had moments of laughter that felt like the universe itself was smiling with us. We've also had moments where things got quiet, where life tested us, where we had to figure out how to hold on, not out of comfort, but out of conviction. And that's where the strength of what we have really lives. It's strange how time seems to bend when you're with someone who truly matters. Days turn into months without you even realizing it, and before you know it, you've built a story. Not a perfect one, but a story made of moments that actually mean something. The late night talks, the small disagreements that taught us patience, the shared silences that said more than any words ever could. Those are the chapters that define us. You've taught me that connection isn't built in the loud, spectacular moments. It's built in the quiet ones. It's in the way you've stood beside me, even when my mind was off chasing distant horizons. It's in the way you ground me when my thoughts are scattered between what's possible and what's practical. You've reminded me that even vision needs something human to keep it alive. I think that's what makes what we have so powerful. It's a balance. You see the dreamer in me and somehow never let me drift too far away from reality. You don't just understand my ambitions, you understand the parts of me that get lost in them. And in return, I've come to understand you, the way you carry your strength quietly, the way you love without needing attention, the way you bring light just by being who you are. Looking back, I realize that our journey hasn't been about reaching a destination, it's been about discovery. I've discovered that love isn't about possession or perfection, it's about alignment. It's about finding someone whose presence doesn't just fit into your life, but expands it. You've expanded mine in ways I never saw coming. There's a certain kind of peace that comes from knowing someone has seen every version of you. The confident one, the uncertain one, the hopeful one, the tired one, and chooses to stay. You've done that for me. And in that choice, I've learned what commitment truly means. It's not about the promise of forever. It's about the decision to keep showing up every day, even when forever feels far away. When I think about everything we've been through, the growth, the challenges, the laughter, the learning, I don't see it as a straight line. It's been more like an orbit, constantly moving, constantly evolving, yet always drawn back to the same center, us. And maybe that's the most beautiful part of it all. Through all the momentum, through all the motion, the gravity that keeps me steady has always been you. Because at the heart of every journey, no matter how far it travels or how high it reaches, there's always one constant force pulling it home. And for me, that force has always been you. There's something I've been holding inside for a long time, something that's been sitting quietly behind everything I've said and done. It's not easy to put into words, because it's bigger than just emotion. It's a truth that's been growing stronger the more I try to contain it. And tonight I don't want to hold it back anymore. I need to tell you what's been living in my heart. I've spent my whole life chasing big ideas. Dreams that feel impossible until they're real. I've built things, launched things, pushed limits, broken boundaries. But in the middle of all that, there's been one thing that's kept me grounded. One thing I couldn't design, engineer, or calculate my way through. You. You're the constant that I never realized I needed until everything else started to blur. For so long, I convinced myself that focus meant sacrifice, that to build something great, you have to shut everything else out. But I was wrong. The truth is, the greatest thing I've ever built wasn't made of steel, fire, or algorithms. It's the space between us, the connection we've created, the trust that's formed, the love that's grown even when I didn't know how to name it. And that's what I need to tell you. I love you. Not in a casual, fleeting way, but in a way that changes the entire equation of my life. You've become the variable that gives everything else meaning. I love you not because it's convenient or because it fits into some perfect version of the future, but because it's real. Because every time I think about what truly matters, every time I strip everything back to its core, it always comes back to you. There's something incredibly powerful about realizing that love isn't a distraction from your purpose. It is your purpose. You've taught me that. You've shown me that connection doesn't weaken ambition. It gives it direction. You've shown me that even in a world obsessed with progress, there's nothing more revolutionary than loving someone completely, fearlessly, and without condition. I know I'm not the easiest person to love. I get lost in ideas, in possibilities, in visions of what could be. Sometimes I disappear into the future and forget to look at what's right in front of me. But even then, even in those moments when I'm caught up in a million thoughts, somehow, your presence cuts through the noise. You remind me of who I am when I'm not chasing something, when I'm just being. That's real, that's love. I've realized that I don't just want you to be a part of my life. I want you to be the center of it. Not in a way that limits me, but in a way that anchors me. You are the home I never built, the calm in the middle of constant movement. I don't just want to share success with you. I want to share stillness, silence, and all the moments that don't make the headlines. There's a courage required to say this out loud. Because love, real love, isn't safe. It's uncertain. It exposes you. It strips away all the armor you've spent years building. But I've learned that it's far more dangerous to stay silent than it is to risk being vulnerable. And if I've ever taken risks for things that mattered less, then how could I not risk everything for you? You deserve the truth. And the truth is, you've changed the way I see everything, my work, my future, my sense of purpose. I don't just want you to know how I feel. I want you to feel how I know. Because love, when it's real, isn't just spoken. It's lived. It's in the choices we make, in the moments we stay, and the courage it takes to say, this is what I want. And what I want is simple. I want you. Not just today, not just when things are easy, but through every version of the future we haven't yet imagined. I want to build something that lasts, not out of material, but out of meaning. I want to love you the way I build everything else I believe in, fearlessly, endlessly, and with everything I have. So here it is, my big revelation. My truth strip bare you are the one thing I never planned for, but the one thing I know I can't live without. Because after everything I've built, everything I've dreamed of, and everything I've risked, loving you is and always will be the greatest thing I've ever done. When I think about the future now, it's no longer a distant horizon filled with abstract ideas and impossible dreams. It's not just a vision of rockets or cities or technologies that could redefine human life. The future, to me, has become something far more personal. It's a picture of us standing side by side, building something that doesn't need to defy gravity to feel extraordinary. You've changed how I see what lies ahead. I used to think the future was something you had to chase, something you reached through force, intellect, and relentless persistence. But being with you has shown me that the future isn't something you run toward. It's something you grow into. It's shaped not only by what we achieve, but by who we become along the way. And I want to build that future with you, intentionally, courageously, and together. In my work, I often think in terms of systems, designs, and trajectories, how one small decision can shift the entire path of what's possible. Love works the same way. A single act of understanding, a single word of kindness, a single moment of choosing each other again, it changes everything. It redefines the trajectory. And I want our lives to be a collection of those small, powerful choices that compound into something remarkable. The world can be chaotic. It moves fast, it demands more every day, and it rarely slows down to make space for meaning. But I want our future to be built on meaning, not just momentum. I want us to design a life that's intentional, where success isn't just measured by what we accomplish, but by how we make each other feel, how we support one another's dreams, and how we stay grounded when everything around us feels weightless. You've taught me that balance isn't about standing still, it's about moving in rhythm. So, in our future, I see us continuing to move forward, learning, creating, exploring, but always in rhythm with each other. I see us laughing through the exhaustion, finding light in the quiet moments, and learning how to live with purpose not just on a grand scale, but in the simplest of ways. There's something powerful about partnership when it's built on respect and shared vision. I don't just see us existing together, I see us evolving together. Two forces aligned not by chance, but by choice. I want us to build something that reflects not only who we are now, but who we're still becoming. A partnership that's not afraid to dream big, to fail boldly, and to keep believing even when the world tells us otherwise. And yes, I know that the road ahead won't always be smooth. There will be challenges. There always are. But that's what makes the vision real. Every meaningful journey comes with turbulence, and I've learned that what determines success isn't how perfectly we navigate it, but how deeply we stay committed through it. I want us to face every challenge as a team, not just supporting each other, but inspiring each other to rise higher, to love harder, to never settle for anything less than extraordinary. I see a future where we wake up every day knowing that what we're building together matters, not just to us, but to the people we touch, the lives we inspire, the world we leave behind. I want to build a life with you that proves that love and vision aren't opposites. They're fuel for each other. That passion can coexist with purpose. That tenderness and innovation can live in the same space. And when I imagine the years ahead, I don't see perfection. I see growth. I see two people who keep showing up, who don't just dream together, but build together. I see us making the kind of impact that can't be measured in headlines, but in the quiet power of a life well lived, side by side. That's my vision for the future. Not just to reach the stars, but to create a world where coming home to you feels like the greatest adventure of all. Because after everything I've learned about ambition, courage, and creation, the truth is simple. The most revolutionary future I could ever imagine is the one we build together. There's a moment when everything becomes still, when the noise of the world fades, and all that's left is the sound of your own heart. That's where I am right now. Standing here, not as someone trying to make a statement, not as someone with grand plans or bold ideas, but simply as a person who loves deeply and who finally understands what that word truly means. Love, I've realized, is not a feeling that fades when the lights dim or when the days get hard. It's a decision, a daily one. It's the choice to stay, to try, to keep believing in something bigger than yourself. And tonight, I want to make that choice, not in silence, but in the open. Because you deserve to hear it. You deserve to know that what I feel for you isn't temporary or conditional. It's constant. It's deliberate. It's real. If I've learned anything from everything I've built, it's that the things that last, the things that truly matter, are built with patience, trust, and time. That's the promise I want to make to you. I'm not promising a life without turbulence, or days without challenge. What I am promising is that no matter how unpredictable the path becomes, I will keep choosing you. I'll keep showing up, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's difficult, even when the world feels heavy, because love isn't about the moments when everything is perfect. It's about the moments when everything feels impossible, and you still decide to reach for each other anyway. There's a part of me that has always believed in the impossible. I've spent years pushing boundaries, trying to prove that limits are only illusions. But you've shown me a different kind of impossible, the kind that exists in the human heart. The impossibility of finding someone who understands you without explanation. The impossibility of feeling safe and seen at the same time. The impossibility of looking at someone and realizing they are, somehow, both your home and your horizon. That's what you are to me. You've made me believe that love is not a distraction from purpose. It is purpose. You've given meaning to everything I once thought was just motion. And so, if this moment is a prayer, then it's this: that whatever happens, wherever life takes us, I never stop earning your trust, your respect, and your love. That I never forget how rare this is, how rare you are. I pray for patience, the kind that listens before reacting, the kind that understands before it judges. I pray for courage, not the loud, dramatic kind, but the quiet kind that stays when it would be easier to walk away. And I pray for wisdom to always remember that success means nothing if I lose sight of what truly matters. Because at the end of the day, beyond the goals, the achievements, and the noise of the world, this you and me is what gives everything else meaning. You're the gravity that keeps me from drifting too far, the balance that reminds me that even the brightest stars need something to orbit around. I don't know where the road ahead will take us. No one ever really does. But I do know this: I will meet every day with the same devotion I feel right now. I will protect what we have, nurture it, and never take it for granted. I will keep growing, not just for myself, but for us. Because love, when it's real, isn't just about how it feels, it's about what it builds. And if I ever forget that, if I ever get lost in the speed of life again, I want you to remind me of this moment. The moment when everything became clear. The moment when all that mattered was standing right in front of me. So here's my promise and my prayer that I will love you with intention, with honesty, and with an unshakable belief in what we can create together. That no matter how far we go, I will always find my way back to you. Because in the end, after all the dreams, all the noise, all the striving, it's not about reaching the stars. It's about finding the one person who makes the universe feel like home.